When the great voices of Middle-earth fall quiet, the world does not end. There is no trumpet, no final proclamation, no last command to obey. History simply steps aside, and life continues. Welcome to the Grey Havens Hour, a place for listening rather than haste, for reflection rather than argument, where we return to Tolkien's world, not to master it, but to sit with it for a while and hear what it still has to say. Today, we come to the final voice in our long listening. Not a voice of power, not a voice of guidance, not even a voice of heroism. We come home. Well, I'm back. 4 words. No explanation, no summary of what was endured, no attempt to make meaning impressive. Just return. And in those words, Tolkien quietly tells us everything. Because the Shire does not speak in declarations. It does not announce its importance. It does not explain itself to history. The Shire speaks through rhythm, through meals prepared and shared, through fields tended again after neglect, through doors repaired, gardens replanted, paths walked once again. Its voice is habit, routine, repetition, memory carried not in song or record, but in the way life is lived when no one is watching. Throughout this journey, we have listened to many voices. The elves sang memory as it faded. The dwarves guarded memory in silence. Rohan spoke memory together in courage. Gondor carried memory as inherited duty. The hobbits carried memory through ordinary speech. Mordor reduced voice to command and collapsed. The Maiar guided, restrained, and then withdrew. And now, none of those voices remain at the centre. What is left is not absence, it is endurance. The Shire does not preserve the past by retelling it endlessly. It preserves it by continuing to live. This is why Tolkien does not end his story at the Grey Havens. The Havens are beautiful, but they're not the point. Departure is not the final truth. Continuation is. The Shire is not untouched by evil. That is one of Tolkien's hardest and most honest gifts. The Scouring of the Shire reminds us that no place is protected forever by innocence alone. When evil reaches home, there are no kings to summon, no wizards to consult, no guardians left to intervene. There are only neighbours. The ordinary voices must now speak, not with command, but with shared resolve. Here, courage is not loud, it is communal. Decisions are made together, responsibility is shared, authority arises not from title, but from care. This is where endurance becomes moral labour. The Shire does not survive by accident. It survives because people choose, again and again, to repair rather than abandon, to tend rather than control, to remember without being consumed by loss. And at the heart of this endurance stands Samwise Gamgee. Sam does not rule the Shire. He does not command it. He does not withdraw from it. He stays. After walking through darkness no one else could endure, Sam returns and takes up ordinary work. He plants trees, he restores gardens, he raises children, he serves his neighbours. His voice becomes quieter still, not because it diminished, but because it no longer needs to prove anything. Sam shows us that the final form of courage is not heroism remembered, but life continued. This is memory without mastery. Loss is acknowledged, but not worshipped. Grief is real, but it does not become identity. The Shire remembers, but it refuses to be defined by what was taken from it. This is the difference between survival and endurance. Survival reacts to crisis. Endurance continues after the crisis ends. Survival asks, how do we get through this? Endurance asks, how do we live now? The Shire answers that question slowly, with uneven healing, with lingering scars, with patience, but it answers it faithfully. We'll return to that, but first, consider what the Shire never becomes. It does not become an empire. It does not turn its suffering into authority. It does not impose its way of life on others. It simply keeps going. This is why Tolkien trusted the small, the local, the ordinary. Not because they are pure, but because they are limited. And limitation, in Tolkien's world, is not a flaw to overcome. It is a boundary that protects the soul. The Shire endures because it knows what it is not meant to be. It does not seek to shape the world. It seeks to care for a corner of it. And that, Tolkien suggests, is enough. So the story ends where it always belonged. Not in triumph, not in explanation, not in departure, but in return. Well, I'm back. The voice that endures is not the one that changes history, but the one that lives faithfully after history has passed. If these quiet journeys have given you something to carry, please share, like and subscribe. It helps them reach others who are still listening. Until we meet again, may your words be gentle, may your work be faithful, and your home, whatever shape it takes, remain a place where life can continue.